With me now is Dan Adams from Icertis, and for the next couple minutes, Dan's going to be presenting on ways procurement can have a contract-centric sourcing approach within their organization. Dan, welcome to our virtual frontier. This is our event. I can see you've got your sons in the background behind you. I'm guessing that you're a football fan. Whereabouts are you from, Dan?
I'm a Chicagoan, Ryan. Thank you very much for the time today.
Great. Are you a Bears fan?
I'm a very big Bears fan, even though it's been difficult for the last couple of decades. We're all praying the season goes on, but not expecting a lot from it.
Well, I'm hoping that we do have the season as well, but would love to turn it over to you, Dan, and let you jump into things.
Great. I really appreciate the time. Again, at the highest level, Icertis is the world's leading contract lifecycle management solution hosted in the cloud. What we do for our customers is help them to accelerate commerce by deriving quick value and helping them rapidly deploy a contract management solution that allows them to improve their bottom line in contract negotiations. It also allows them to protect against risk, where they can identify and mitigate current risks and protect themselves against future risks with the platform. And finally, we often help our customers optimize their business, giving them efficiency and agility that will be always on, anytime, anywhere, for any user, even on the go. We have been blessed with a platform that was built from the ground up with Microsoft Azure technology, and we take the advantage of this platform to integrate into many solution partners. So this is a new approach to sourcing with contracts at the center of it. And the reason that we are talking about today is that what we have found is there's a lot of moving parts in source to contract for most organizations. And in fact, usually contracts are left to the end. When this happens, the risks of derailing all of the valuable things that sourcing has put forth is left to the post end of negotiations. And people are not able to actually use the past negotiations they already have with vendors and the performance contracts within their stated work. So what we've got is a real problem. This is the why a new solution is needed. Today, companies are asked to move faster and faster than ever before because more and more new materials need to be purchased in a much, much shorter timeline. It's really a difficult position for most sourcing and procurement teams to be in. Under the current paradigm, everyone looks at the technical requirements and also the functional requirements and also the financial requirements. And then finally, after all of that, they start to look at the contracts. What we've seen in a number of different studies is it leads to less than ideal results. In fact, McKinsey & Company said that about 3.5% of all spend is leaked in the entire source to settle process because that leakage is occurring because people are not able to take advantage of their contract negotiation power if they moved it up earlier into the process. So this is a problem that we've seen throughout a lot of companies and customers that we work with. The world is changing. It's moving a lot faster, and modern companies are grappling with a number of new issues that really are just forcing them to do things much, much faster and more robustly. So there's obviously dynamic global supply chains, shifting regulations. And in order to stay competitive, people are seeing that there is a need at certain large manufacturers, people that have a lot of buy-side and sell-side contracts. They've got to deal with these common challenges. One, contract storage being fragmented and is across multiple departments on multiple file shares. The contracts are not tightly integrated with current ERP, CRM, or P2P systems, so they're not able to ensure compliance across multiple solutions. And also, with this fragmented process, usually there are risks of suppliers not being able to get up to standards and not be able to perform to the levels in the contracts. So when this happens, sales and sourcing are kind of working independently and separately, and they're not able to leverage the same tools efficiently create back-to-back contracts that really are essential for companies to have the best of both worlds on the sell side and the buy side. Also, a lack of visibility across the contracts and their obligations really hurt them in the long term and post-execution management of the contracts. So we're going to talk to you a little bit about this today, and we're going to talk to you about how there might be some solutions for it. One more study for you that really shows the challenge. ProcureCon Europe had this survey a couple of years ago, and it talked about the fact that with this fragmented process, there are a huge amount of challenges. The two that I always like to bring up are the missed obligations at 55% and the slow contract creation, which is 46%. People are saying that is really causing them a very large challenge. And this, again, was from a survey, probably about 500 plus companies of small, medium, large enterprises. So how do we address this challenge, right? What's the new approach? The new approach to contract-centric sourcing is to bring the contracts back into the middle, or actually the very beginning of the sourcing process when you're working with vendors. So we think of it as a third pillar of the stool, and we want to help you work along with all of the commercial capabilities and the technical capabilities as you're releasing an RFP. So before an RFP, an RFX, and RFI is released, buyers can evaluate contract data and past performance of the old contracts and the strategies to make sure that they're adding the right requirements along with technical requirements, along with business requirements and pricing in order to make sure that contracting is an equal stature of the platform. That way, as the vendors are bidding for your business and they're redlining agreements, you're taking this into consideration along with all of your other various technical and business needs. The nice thing is, if you take this approach, you can start to leverage newer technologies like artificial intelligence earlier on, and you can start to evaluate a vast number of third-party contracts as they come in. So let's look at this in a little more detail. When we're looking at the commercial evaluation, the technical evaluation, and the contract evaluation, it really is about managing risks and ensuring compliance and doing this up front. So you're looking at the overall costs, you're looking at value delivery, you're looking at predictability. You're also looking at technical capability, past performance of the vendor. Why not also put to term benchmarking across all of the known and unknown contracts and clauses that you have out there? By leveraging a contract management platform earlier on, you can actually do this. You can help assess risk, and you can make sure that this is a turnkey solution for all three axes. Again, commercial, technical, and contracts. So let's talk a little bit more about how this really works. So evaluate the commercials, the technical, and the contract simultaneously. And the reason that you want to bring in the contract terms in parallel is to make sure that there are no surprises down the road on any of your costs or any of the things that are important to you to make sure they're in the contract. You want to involve the legal team as part of the process instead of a reviewer of terms after the fact. Legal can actually offer very valuable insight upon what language is brought in the multiple vendor contracts, and it can actually help speed up the process if you're using smart intelligence throughout. You want to be able to simulate operational scenarios. So generate a should be or a what if in the future if you get this contract into place. This will help you compress the operational lead time and actually speed up the process. And lastly, you want to make sure you've got a place for all of your contracts. You don't want to be thinking about this independently of sell side over here, buy side over here, and enterprise here. You want to bring them all together. So what we've seen is leading organizations are starting to put contracts at the center and part of the foundation of the overall process to marry and bring together buy side, sell side, and corporate contracts all at once. And what they want is they want a platform that offers a very easy to use experience, that's very easy to adopt, that has powerful reporting and analytics, and is extremely configurable to everybody in the organization, across sales, across procurement, across finance, across IT. Because when you think about it, every dollar in or out of a corporation is subject to and beholden to a contract. So we don't want to overhaul the procurement systems. We just want to involve contracting as a third axis in this process. Let me give you an example of a company that my company, Icertis, has worked with. So most people know Daimler Chrysler. Daimler is known as one of the largest motor companies in the world, and they have a number of premium brands. They had a pretty big challenge. And the challenge was that Daimler was looking to standardize all their agreements across 400,000 suppliers. And they wanted to do it across multiple divisions, and they wanted to make sure direct spend and indirect spend was being calculated in their contracts. They looked at the marketplace and they evaluated all the offerings out there, and then they said, we need to go with a solution that will help us unify the procurement analysis and ensure we have visibility, agility, and also integration with all of our back-end systems. They selected Icertis. And so some of the benefits that they are receiving is that they are now able to bring in information about those 400,000 suppliers, and that critical access on them helps them to standardize the process, remove bottlenecks, and make it much, much more efficient for them to work with acquiring new systems, new technology, and new features, which are critical for them in their mandate to be a much more technology-driven organization. Hope you don't mind, but I'd like to play a short video that Daimler Chrysler has provided for you today.
The problem with Daimler is that the current procurement system is roughly 25 years old, has reached the end of its life cycle, and no longer fulfills today's requirements.
And this made us slow and inefficient, and it was hard to us to identify all the risk and obligations out of contracts.
We wanted to solve with our sourcing application is to better collaborate with our 500,000 suppliers in the awarding process.
In an ideal state, we wanted sourcing and contracting to go hand in hand. Because in procurement, you start with sourcing, but immediately you also start your first contracts. And when this is joined in one powerful tool, you have everything transparent.
Daimler selected Icertis because it's the best-in-class contracting application, as we have seen that contracting and awarding has to come together.
We choose Icertis because we were looking for a platform that seamlessly integrates with our IT landscape and also fulfills our strategic IT requirements.
Daimler chose Icertis because it is a standard software. It is easy to integrate in our legacy system landscape and also to third-party systems. The implementation process really surprises me. They ramped up the system to an operational mode within 4 months. I have never seen this in Daimler before, that it can be that fast.
The implementation of ICM at Daimler was incredibly fast. After just 4 months, we had the first product live.
At the end of the day, we would like to get full advantage out of digitalization in procurement. For example, in bringing down contracting cycle time from 6 to 1 week.
The big benefits we're getting out of this solution together with Icertis is that we have an integrated solution for sourcing and contracting, more efficient process, and a lot better regulatory compliance.
From sourcing to contracting, we have gained speed, but it has also made us safer. We have our risks transparent, we have our process transparent, and our buyers like the software. It's easy to use. The software guides the buyer through the process, so the user always knows what to do next.
I love to work with the Icertis team because I have never seen a company that has this passion and this motivation that you can see in every colleague that I have met before.
One of my favorite quotes in that video was from Dr. Steven Stathel, who's heading Daimler's new procurement system initiative along with Icertis. He said, the deployment of Icertis Contract Management, or ICM, optimizes the source-to-contract process by ensuring best-in-class supplier evaluation, selection, contracting, and collaboration. We thought it was very, very powerful. Hope you don't mind, but I'll share one more customer example. Transurban. Transurban is a multinational transportation company. Essentially, they run toll roads in the United States and in Australia and other countries. And you might famously know that the DC Beltline is a very large toll system, and they actually manage and maintain that. Well, they were having problems. They wanted to streamline the source-to-contract process, and they wanted to do this as part of a larger digital transformation effort. They were deploying Workday as an ERP solution, and they wanted to ensure that their contracting solution could incorporate all of the feeds of necessary information from Workday. So they evaluated the marketplace. They went with Icertis Contract Management, ICM, and now they've got a single solution that is integrated into their ERP that allows them to manage that source to contract process. High adoption has been driven across the enterprise because of a seamless user experience where many users don't even have to ever leave their Workday portal. Very, very easy for them to manage, but I'm actually going to let them tell their story themselves.
My name is Emily Hall. I'm the General Manager of Procurement and Corporate Services at Transurban. Transurban are an operator and maintainer of toll roads that predominantly operate in our core strategic markets, which is the eastern seaboard of Australia and North America. The problem that we were trying to solve is that we had an ERP system or a platform that had really aged, and we needed to reconsider what our way forward was going to be. We were looking at our complete corporate ERP system, but as it relates to source to contract in particular, we had a system that the business didn't particularly like and didn't particularly integrate well into the broader platform. We started looking at the market and identified Icertis as a player within that source to contract space, and went through our evaluation and selected Icertis to deliver contract lifecycle management for us. We thought that the company was very dynamic, it was very innovative, and it had a product and a culture within the company that fit very much within the Transurban culture as well. So we thought it was a really great fit and that the product offering was going to be able to serve us very, very well. The benefits that we're looking to get from ICM, they are a partner of our ERP platform in Workday, so it was very important for us to have a provider that was going to be able to integrate with our ERP platform, of which Icertis will be able to do so with Workday. And more importantly for us was the user experience for our business. So the business love Icertis, it's very easy to use, very intuitive, and it's going to give us one single platform that we're able to manage source to contract and provide us with a tool for the business to be able to manage our contracts over the entire life cycle of that contract.
It was very kind of Emily to bring up all the great work that they've done with us, and we really appreciate the partnership with Transurban. Working with them, along with our partner Workday, has really streamlined their entire process and given them great insight into their contracting. So you've heard a little bit from the customers. What do the analysts think? Well, we're proud to say that Icertis has been consistently recognized as a leader in contract lifecycle management. In 2019, Forrester ranked us as the highest achieving for current offering across any product category. In fact, they had 22 different categories, and Icertis was the only vendor to receive a perfect score in over 15 categories. We did that in 17. And then this year, Gartner, many considered the largest analyst, ranked us in their leaders quadrant and said that we had the strongest solution as far as vision and ability to execute. They also called out our REST API strategy as something that works particularly well for complex customers that want to integrate multiple systems into contract management. So the analysts have been great, and they've really honed in on the fact that we've got a great foundation platform. So in the Icertis contract management platform is every single thing that an organization needs to manage the entire life cycle, from intelligent contract setup to negotiating, redlining, approving contracts, to getting them signed electronically or manually, and then ensuring all governance, risk, and compliance is automatically adhered to. What's really neat is that our organizations can nimbly set up and configure dashboards and reports that actually feed them proactively the information they need to do their work more proactively, and turn contracting from static documents to a more holistic and active process. We've worked with a number of vendors in the ability to make sure that our technology through the REST APIs was wholly integrated into almost any ERP, HCM, or CRM solution, And we've also got incredible extra applications and analytics that our customers take advantage of. One of those applications just happens to be AI. So Icertis' AI has been out for 2 years. We were the first CLM vendor to release AI. And actually in the last 6 months, Forbes, who actually studied the entire marketscape of any company using AI, said Icertis was the only vendor to crack their top 50 worldwide, giving us the number 7 position. So again, AI being probably important to a lot of you, it's great to know the solution also has that as well. What this has allowed us to do is to work with many of the world's largest, mid-sized, and smallest organizations. For every great customer on this logo sheet, you'll also see 5 to 10 other customers you probably never even heard of. So we can work with any large, medium, or small enterprise across all of their contract types. In totality, we've got over 6.5 million of our contracts from our customers being managed by the system in over 40 languages across 90 different countries. Thank you for a little bit of time today. It was really a pleasure speaking with you, and I certainly hope that you'll take the time to go to our website and to give us some feedback.